Hello everybody, let's continue to learn modern JavaScript fundamentals. This session is about function expressions and arrows. So let's take a look at this example. So we can define function like this, hi, and we also can define a function expression like this. Let hi equal function like this. So for this part, for this example, we define a function like this. We can define a function variable like this. So we can call this function either through the variable func like this, or call the function like this. This part is talking about the callback functions, means we pass a function as the parameters. So let's take a look. We have function ask question yes or no, then confirm the question, then we call yes, otherwise we call no. So the yes and the no are function parameters. So we have this show OK function, we have this show cancel function. We can call this ask by passing this function show OK and show cancel for the third parameter. This part we do the same, ask yes or no, and instead of using the function names, we can directly to define a function like this. The second parameter, which is the function, this one, the third one, is also a function. So this part, let's take a look at the function expressions vs function declaration. So we declare a function like this. We can call a function like this. Then we have this function definition like this. For function expression, we set a variable equal a function. Then we can call this function. Either for this case, we only able to call this function by this name. And if we call hi at this place, for example, if we have this variable after this line, it will throw an error because at this point this line is not called yet. Let's take a look. When a function declaration is made within a code block, it is visible everywhere inside that block, but not outside of it. So for function declaration, for this part, we have this function declared inside this block, and this function declared inside this function. And on this line, we are calling this function, but this function is not defined within this block. So this line will throw an error. Let's take a look at this example. We have a welcome calling here. So we check where we define this welcome. We define the welcome here. We define a variable. It's a variable declared inside this code block. Then we set this value with a function declaration like this. So we call this part as the function expression. Let's take a look at this example. We define welcome equal either this function or this function. Then we are able to call this one like this, no problem, because this variable is defined within the code block. This part, we are going to take a look at the arrow functions. We can define an arrow function like this. We also can define a function like this with the traditional way of defining a function. So for example, we have a sum function. We can do parameters, then get the return like this. It's same with the following function. And for this part, we define a function n parameter. We return n multiply 2. It's same with this line. And for this one, we don't have any parameter, so we can use an error expression like this. So we can call this function by this line. So we define the age from a prompt return. The default value is 18. Then we get the age. Then we check the age. Then we define the function based on the conditions. We are able to call the function by this name. So let's take a look at this part. It's multiple line arrow functions. For this one, sum equal 2 parameters. Then inside we get the result. Then we return the result. So for these 2 lines, we use curly brace. So we can call this multi-line arrow function like this. It's pretty normal, no special things here. So that's all for the function expression and arrows. Thanks for watching. See you next time.